All right, welcome to Comics on Life. I'm your host, Stefan Braxton, and I got some very good, exciting guests here today. All right, I'm gonna let them introduce yourself. Y'all see what order y'all in. We're gonna start right to the right of me, and we're gonna start and go around. Introduce yourself, social media, what city you from, and give the people a little 30-second story about yourself.
Well, hello everybody. My name is Buck. BUC. That stands for Beautiful, Unique, and Cuddly. I've been doing. Thank you. I got a Netflix and chill body. I'm a native New Yorker of Guyanese descent, but now I live in Hot Atlanta. Because I'm trying to do some things out here. My social media handle you can find me at Buck BUC. S_comedy on Insta, and you can also at my website, Paul Buck Gittens, Beautiful, Unique, and Cuddly. Like I said, I'm here. In Atlanta to capitalize on the single mingleness and the comedy and entertainment here in Atlanta. My favorite pastime is I've started a new social dating app. I started a new dating app. And you guys may have heard of it. It's called Uber Eats. It's called Uber Eats. But that's been my time. Let's move on.
I'm gonna have to get the light. Now, who's eating chips? Okay. All right. Next.
I am comedian Miss Arkansas, and I am a native of Arkansas. Um, what else you want to know about me? I ain't got a phone call. My bad.
Uh, your social, your social media, and how people can contact you for bookings, and a little bit about yourself. 30 seconds.
Well, I need you to follow me over on Instagram, Miss Arkansas Comedy, and help me get my numbers back up because my other page, I got it hacked. A lot of people say my page got hacked. No, I got it hacked because I thought this dude gonna send me some money. So Miss Arkansas Comedy, in order to book me. What else? Let's see. You will get your money worth. I want you to know that up front. And I do parties, I do funerals, I do it all. You hear me? For a fee. So once again, I'm comedian Miss Arkansas, and I'm out of Arkansas, but I'll travel anywhere around the world.
All right, Miss Arkansas. Next.
Well, I guess that would be me. I'm Keith Fitz. How are you, everybody out there? I'm from Long Island, New York. I've I'm a former musician slash comedian, so I do music in my act as well as comedy, and I've been doing it for many years. Uh, you can find me on Facebook under Facebook/Key Fitz KEYFITZ, and let's move on to the next person.
All right. All right, Key. Next.
All right. I'm Kara Rosalini. I'm out of Seattle, Washington. I moved here a little while ago from LA. And my Instagram is Kara Rosalini. It shows my lack of imagination on fancy handles. Let's see. I also am a mom of 3 kids. So I often bring them on stage with me. I don't. It's my Zen time. So yeah, that's it. I go up and down mostly the West Coast to do shows, and I love doing it. Thank you for having me, Stefan.
All right. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. All right, next.
Michael Copenhaver here. I'm from Northeast Ohio, a tiny little town you've never heard of called Champion. I travel all over the place. I'm an award winning stand up comedian. Right there, that's how you spell my name. If you can't find it there at that website, you can find it under that name on Facebook. And you can get to my phone number and everything. Call me, prank me, breathe dirty. I don't care. Let's have fun. Let's have fun. Michael Copenhaver, comedian.com. Good to be back, Stefan. Thanks for having me, my friend.
All right. Thank you for being on. Next. Is he here?
The blind man is here.
The blind man?
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm sitting in the car.
Oh,
I hope he's
I
not driving if
introduce.
he's blind.
It's on me. It's on me.
I did not want to say it. I did not want to say it.
Yeah, the blind man's driving.
I'm from Highland Park. No, I'm not driving. Here's the steering wheel over there. No, but I'm from the city that changed the world, Highland Park, Michigan. It's 2 cities in the middle of Detroit. People don't know this. And this is where Henry Ford made the Model T the first time with mass production. So I'm from that little small city, like 2.9 square miles, living in Detroit, rocking in Detroit at Starters, Bar and Grill in Plymouth, and with Tony Roney and the Crack Jokers. It's a gang of us, like almost 30 comedians. We rocking all over town, selling out places, just killing them in the game. My Facebook is The Blind Man, THA Blind Man on Facebook, and HP Comedian on Instagram.
All right. And we're going to go over here.
Hi, everybody. I'm Linda Marcus Smith, and I have the honor of telling you that I got to interview Sinbad. Woo!
Hey.
Yeah, that was awesome. Nobody cared about my measly little podcast till I interviewed Sinbad. That is the truth. I go by Linda Marcus Smith everywhere, and there's a reason why I do, because 3 names. I'm still mad about John Wilkes Booth because he was an actor and he got famous with 1 headshot. Blows my mind.
All right. All right. All right. We're going to get this show started. Okay. Now, these questions, we're going to start off with this one. Actually, I didn't read none of these before the show because I was steady working with my computer. But here we go. What is the most craziest thing you've seen a crackhead do? Paul, Mr. Buck.
Well, Stefan, and thank you so much for that. That is a very interesting question. The most interesting thing, this is my Mr. America voice. The most interesting thing I've ever seen a crackhead do. Once I was on the train in New York, and a crackhead was singing that she wanted some money. She was hungry. She wanted some money to put shoes on her feet. She needed some cash to get something to eat. That's what she sang on the 2 train. So I proceeded to give her my BBQ fresh from I had the barbecue place, BBQ. So I had this beautiful barbecue, and I was willing to share it, and I didn't want to because I knew it was some BS. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna share it with her anyway. So I gave her the food. She opened the container, and she said, well, I didn't mean to put you out if that's all you had. And she slapped the container of barbecue on the ground in the train and yelled, you know, I didn't want to put you out. So there's a part 2 to this story, but I'll tell you about it later. For me, that was the personal thing that affected me, the worst thing I've seen a crackhead that has done to me. So yes, I've added something to the question. Thank you. My name is Paul. Thank you for speaking.
All right. Miss Arkansas.
Well, I seen a crackhead get all the white rocks out the fish tank. I hit him with a hammer trying to smash it up.
That is awesome. You was crazy.
I'm like, oh my God, that ain't no coke, them rocks. So that was crazy to me.
I did not see that coming. The fish tank, and I can picture a fish tank.
All the white rocks out of
He got the little net trying to get the rocks out.
Got the fish.
Dedication with crackhead. So much dedication.
That is funny. Key.
Okay, I have a very similar story to the first guy here, because I was actually out in New York City, and I was approached by a crackhead asking me for money for food. So I proceeded to give him my food. He decided to turn around and start selling the food to other people because he needed the money for crack. But he was so hungry that he couldn't have the food that I gave him, and he was selling them off one French fry at a time. $10 a French fry.
All right, Kara.
All right, so I was in LA and I was driving my my 2-year-old to preschool, and we looked out the window, and this guy was going to the bathroom, number 2, in the middle of the sidewalk, and my daughter's like, "Mommy, that man is wiping his tootsie." And that was it. I was like, "Close your eyes. We're gonna keep going." And that was all. That's all my interaction.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, he could have just ate McDonald's and really had to go. He probably didn't even smoke crack.
We were outside El Tarasco. It could have been that. So
You
I
know.
suppose.
You know, McDonald's is like crack. It makes you go right to the bathroom as soon as you eat it.
Right.
All right, Michael.
I've got to be honest with you. Maybe it's just the company I keep, but the only experience I've got with any crackheads in my life are the pictures I keep seeing floating across the internet of Hunter Biden. So I think the craziest thing in my experience I've seen a crackhead do is let people take pictures and videos of you smoking crack.
All right. The blind man.
Yeah, the craziest one I've witnessed is was a crackhead smoking crack on a bed, jumping up and down, jumping on the bed, was out of crack, and then dove on the carpet, and it was a white piece of lint.
Blind man, you're not blind, are you?
The blind man used to sell crack.
All right, Linda.
I was on the Greyhound bus going and there were these 2 guys, and they were on the bus. Every couple seconds, they were up checking their luggage and organizing it. Like they were tweaking on their luggage. And finally, neither one of them was tweaking. They just sat still halfway across the country. They stopped tweaking. And I said, "Excuse me, what happened? Because you aren't checking your luggage anymore." And they said, "We both just accepted Jesus Christ as our personal savior."
Oh, so
it had a great ending too.
all right. So the craziest thing you seen a crackhead do was get saved.
No, they were tweaking and then they stopped.
All right. We're gonna start. Here you go. The next one. Tell me about the worst. Tell me about the worst ass whooping you ever received, Linda.
The day I told my dad I was joining the army. Man
For
alive.
real?
Yeah, he was so pissed. Yeah. He backhanded me and called me every name in the book and told me how I shouldn't. And I never asked him for permission. And who do I think I am? And that's about it.
Did you wind up going in the army?
Yeah. He forgave it.
Okay. The blind man.
Oh man, I got a bad one. My father was a Vietnam vet. He had this big wide belt with the double buckle from neck to ankle. Yeah, I was at 9 years old. I ain't get no more after that.
Well, what did you do?
I was drinking.
At 9? Okay. He should have went and beat the bartender that served you. All right,
Yeah.
Michael.
All right. I'm 19 years old, fresh out of flunking out of college for the first time ever. And I'm unemployed. So I'm in a really good place in life. I happened to get jumped by 3 fellas, and they wanted what I had. Now, little did they know I was unemployed. All I had in my pocket was my glass piece for smoking my marijuanas. And they finally got it off of me after beating the piss out of me. They get my pocket empty, and all it was my glass pipe there. And they thought I was a crackhead. And then they felt bad about beating me up, and they gave me $10.
Oh wow.
Not even joking. That's a true goddamn story. Criminals felt bad because they thought they beat up a crackhead that was fighting real hard to keep his crack pipe. Yeah,
That's
that's
funny.
true
Hey, but
story.
did y'all notice? You notice how he put the S on marijuana? He had a lot of marijuana. He put the S on it.
Well,
He
they
ain't just had one joint.
they didn't know about my inside pocket that was sewn into my pants.
All right, we getting ready to go on to Kara, but before we go to Kara, I want to give a shout out to Envy Montoya watching the show, and comedian See No Even is watching this, is tuned in to the show. All right, Kara.
All right. So, my mom was not a Vietnam vet, but she was a former nun, and we were sitting around the dinner table, and she was telling me that it was my turn. I was young. I was pretty young. She said, "All right, Kara, it's your turn. You're taking out the trash tonight." And I thought it would be very funny to say, "Well, you made it. You should take it out." And she didn't think it was as funny as I did. It was just a little bit of a joke on her food being bad. But yeah, she slapped the shit out of me, actually. And she probably should have. But that was it.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I already know. I know you probably got many stories, but go ahead, pick one, Key.
All right. Well, I'm going to pick this one. I'm going to say it started off with this. I remember the days when your Dewey checkpoint was your parents at the front door. So that being said, I'm coming home drunk, pulling up with a family car. I'm 15. Driving my family car at 15 years old, and my father pulls me in the house and says, "What the hell do you think you were doing?" He screamed at me for 24 hours straight while I was all drunk, all hungover, like I was a redheaded stepchild.
So that's what your worst. Was you riding with the blind man and y'all got drunk together?
The blind man was driving.
All right, Miss Arkansas, what's the the worst ass whipping you got?
I really don't like bringing up bad memories. But
well, it wasn't yesterday, was it?
His boyfriend, his name was James, and my dad's name is James. And every day at noon, she go out that back door and meet him when the young and the restless go off. And I was a kid, I didn't know no better. So I told my daddy about it. And what I do that for? When I tell you she beat me like they did Rodney King or either Mel Gibson on The Passion of Christ.
Wow.
I still got a mark on my leg now from that stench cold.
Damn, she went there. She got a Jesus beating.
But when I got older, I realized I could have gotten my mama killed.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that when I was a kid. I just knew that wasn't my daddy, that she was going out that back door to see.
All right, Buck, what was yours?
All right, y'all pay attention. This is going to go real quick. So my father, I'm retired Navy. My father was in the military as well, in the Army. And I learned to be an escape artist really quick. We lived in one of those 2 flat military row houses, right? So I decided I would sneak out one night. So I snuck out, climbed down the side of the house, got the car, pushed it down. I was 14, pushed it halfway down the driveway. It was a stick, popped it, turned it on, drove off. The deal was just be home before dad goes to work at 5:45. Me and some friends were hanging out. We're doing all kinds of stuff. I sneak back in, jump, push the car back in, jump up on the side of the house, get back into my room. My room was real messy and there was a bunch of clothes on my bed. So I saw the light come on underneath the door. So I pulled the covers all the way up because I was like, I could take off my clothes underneath and pretend like I was asleep. So I got the blankets right up here and I rolled over and my mom was in the bed right next to me. There was more to this story that I'll keep it very clean, but what she said, and she beat me and my dad jumped out of the closet and I was like, I've been here all night. They're like, you just got home. And like, it was so funny because he would beat me and then he would get tired and then like bend down and then hand the belt to my mom. And then my mom would beat me and then she would get tired. So this went on for about 20 minutes. And that was the last and the greatest. One of these days offline, I will tell you the transcript of exactly everything was said when I rolled over, because that was the terror. I rolled over and she's just in the bed looking at me like this. And I'm just like, where'd you come from? And I got my butt beat. That's my story.
Wow. Well, I think the worst one I had got suspended from school and my mom put me on punishment. I had to stay in the house. Well, I knew she would come home at a certain time. I knew what time she would come home, and she would get off the bus and walk down to our block. It was like maybe a block away, and she would walk down to our block. Well, at the corner of our block, we had the little basketball court we put up on a pole, and our back is towards our block. So I go out there and I start playing basketball. And I'm steady playing. I forget all about the time. So we playing, I'm at the foul line and getting ready to shoot. Next thing I know, this tennis racket come across my head. And I look at my mom, and I'm telling you, Serena and Venus ain't got shit on my mom. She whipped me. But I wasn't even mad at her because I knew I was in the wrong. I was mad at my friends. Y'all seen her walking by. Y'all couldn't warn me or nothing. I could have ran around the block or something. You know what I mean? They didn't warn me or nothing. And they watched her. And I was like, they watched her sneak up behind me with that tennis racket. I don't know what they thought she was going to do with it. But they should have known something was coming.
They thought they wanted to see what she was going to do with it, obviously.
Yeah, they had a big kick out of that. Yeah. All right, we're going to go with the next question. I'll never forget that. All right, okay, here we go. In your opinion, is stand-up comedy a way of life or just a hobby? The blind man.
It's a way of life for me. I've been a comedian all my life since I've been born. That's all I do. Listen, I'm sitting right now in a very important workshop. I'm sitting in the car to do this with you. I got excused to come out to do this from Tony Roney. He's the head crack joker. I got 3 OGs in there. They're giving up so many pointers right now. I'm missing out on the food, drinks, weed, everything. And we notes and we get on the mic. So it's a lifestyle for me. I can't live without it.
All right, Michael.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. If it is a hobby, good on you, good for you. If it makes you feel better, but I'm doing this because that's what I was called to do. If there is a God out there, this is what I'm supposed to be doing for that God. I am thankful every day that I say my career is enhancing the joy of others. That's what I get to do for a living. I enhance the joy of others. No one can top that.
All right, Kara.
Yeah, I would definitely say a way of life. for better or for worse, or whether you want it to be or not, I think if you invest yourself in it for longer than the initial dabbling, I mean, you can try and go away from it, but I think it typically pulls you back. At least it has for me a number of times, and many people I know. So, I mean, sometimes I wish it was just a hobby, but no, I don't think that's the way it is. I think it's a way of life.
Okay, Key.
You mean there's any other life other than comedy? I mean, this is a way of life. To me, a hobby is masturbating in a school playground. So I don't know any other way to be. I was put on this earth, and this is my true story. I was put on this earth to entertain my corner of the world. That has been my story ever since I was 6 years old, and I started doing comedy then. So, honest to God, I know nothing else other than entertainment. I don't see any other thing than this being a way of life.
Okay, but I just want to give you a little bit of advice. Masturbating in a school playground, that's not a hobby, that's a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you
Okay.
for saying that.
I know that now because I'm not allowed within 500 feet of that schoolyard.
We gotta check the offenders list.
All right, Miss Arkansas.
I would say a way of life for me because over 30 years ago, I got in some trouble. And when I got out, instead of becoming one of the worst criminals there is, I got out and became one of the best comedians there is. And every time I turned around, I was getting all no's. So I had to make this my own job, my own thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's a way of life for me. I don't have to answer to nobody. I don't have to clock in for nobody. I'm pretty much like the officers and the firemen. I'm on call. You know what I'm saying? So I say it's my lifestyle, not a hobby.
And well, we already know this because he retired from his regular job, so we already know this is lifestyle. But go ahead, Mr. Buck.
Well, no, my regular job was my hobby. My regular job was my hobby. My regular job was what paid for my comedy, to be honest with you. We was talking about this earlier. I done did an open mic in every pizza parlor, every dark place. I done got tetanus shots messing with comedy. So if this is not a way of life, and this is not truly my ministry, then I'm gonna need that time back. But I'm not gonna get it back because I want to be musty on stage when it ends. You feel? And when the apocalypse comes, I'm gonna be cracking jokes. So this is definitely my ministry, and I agree with what everybody has said. I was born to do this. I will continue to do this. I don't want to step on anybody to tell jokes better than anybody. I just want my slice and only my slice. And if I get an extra piece, I'd be more than happy to give a piece to y'all because this is my life, comedy.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Now you brought up another question. Wait, you brought up another question. I'm gonna ask this question. But Linda, is it a hobby or a lifestyle?
It started as a hobby, and I quit when it's a hobby and the going gets rough, you quit. And now I don't care how rough it gets. I'm in it for the rest. I'm doing it. Everything I'm doing so I'm legit, so I can do comedy for the troops.
All right, cool. Now Buck, he brought up in his answer, he brought up something. I got a question. What is the weirdest or the worst place that you ever performed at? I mean, like it was like weird. He said pizza shops and stuff like that. Wait. I just I had this down here. I'm gonna start with Miss Arkansas.
Other one.
Got you.
I'm gonna start with Miss Arkansas. The weirdest place you ever did comedy. Let's just say a bank drive-through.
Yes, let me tell you about it real quick. I love Linda. Me and Linda, we go back like lots of good friend of mine. Linda, one thing I can say about her, when she book you, she gonna make sure she pay you. So shout out to Kevin Davis, the Marine of comedy. Linda said, we're going to do a show for the veterans. So we trying to find a GPS lady kept taking us around this bank. So we called her, So we get over there, Linda plug her little box up to the socket on the bank. People ride through the drive-through. We thinking they come to see us. They looking at us like, get the hell out the way so I can get some money. Police is circling around. Kevin, he black, I'm black. We with this little white lady. Kevin said, let's go, Miss Arkansas, before they think we done kidnapped her.
So y'all actually
I won't say it was the worst place. It just wasn't no show. But she did pay us even though didn't no one show up. So I got to give her that. You know what I'm saying? But we was at the bank drive-through.
All right. Here's my question. I don't know what's going through y'all heads, but this was going through my head. If people did show up, where was they going to sit at?
I guess it was going to be standing room only.
Y'all should have just had. Y'all should have just had everybody drive up and had those big ass speakers like they have at the movie drive-through, the drive-in theater, and then just show.
I just know she was trying to do something for the people that's, fought in the war and all that stuff, trying to just do something for the veterans. But like I say, they didn't show up. Everybody showed up with some money out the bank.
You get a joke with every new account.
They showed up. They just rode on by and got their money.
I'm like, oh, here come two more.
That is funny. That is so funny. But where's the funniest place or the weirdest place you ever did a show?
First and foremost, Linda, I love that because I did a long-running show in Japan for veterans. I am a veteran also. If you ever need me, let's talk. But here's my story. So the funniest place, I did a show at a strip club, and it's so funny. The funny part about doing a show at a strip club is it wasn't like we were doing a show at Magic City where they were breathing and things were jumping around and jiggling. We did a show at this place that actually has the best wings in Norfolk, but we did a show at 5 o'clock. So it was like the day strippers. It was like with the day strippers, like the C Squad. We had chicks stripping in Tim's with varicose veins. We had like strippers breastfeeding their kids, in between sets. You know what I'm saying? So it was really, really crazy. And I think I got paid 12 wings, only 12 wings and a half a lap dance to perform at this strip club. I won't say the name of the strip club. It's called Headlights in Norfolk. But I won't say the name of the strip club. But if you're ever stripping for wings or telling jokes for wings, that was the craziest place for me because I'm like, what the hell is we telling jokes and they get naked and but the wings were good. So overall, it was still a blessing because the wings were good. That's my story.
All right. So at the strip club where the strippers got on back braces.
Bullet wounds. It was the day shift.
They got on back braces with that big shoe boot on, limping around.
Strippers in wheelchairs, all kinds of shit. It was crazy.
Wait, strippers in wheelchairs, you got to sit on her lap to get a lap dance.
Well, it was a veteran-friendly strip club, so they had just come from their VA appointments, so they were stripping. For.
They probably just left the bank. All right, Key. I forgot.
All right. Same question, same answer. All right. So I got New Jersey, an abandoned gas station on a parkway.
Yes.
Abandoned gas station.
An abandoned gas station where on a parkway in New Jersey. Somebody built a little stage in there, put a couple of folding chairs inside, and we performed for about 6 crack addicts and like 17 homeless people.
Well, this Jersey, that's the only comedy club they got.
That's right.
Jersey ain't got much.
Oh, man.
All right, Kara, what's the weirdest place you ever heard?
Well, I got a question first about the strip club. Like, you had strippers and comedians. I mean, who got the better applause?
Well, we were in the center stage and the strippers were stripping on each side. So you
No,
were trying
with
to
the-
tell a joke and she's fucking clapping and twerking, and you're just like, what am I doing here? So I mean, I think
It's
the
like
strippers got the better class.
It's like your worst or best heckler, depending on your. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
The weirdest place I done a show was in the back of a van in Burbank. Come to think of it, I'm not sure it was a comedy show, but there were comedians. We'll just say that. That was about, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, okay, the back of a van.
Yes.
I got
Yes.
too much going through my head right now. I can't.
Yeah.
All right, Michael.
The weirdest place I did comedy by far, Boulder, Colorado. There was an open mic a friend of mine that lives there was doing. I was like, yeah, what the heck? I'm in town. I'll go to their open mic. And it was at a public park at a pavilion. And it was also the only time I ever second guessed doing comedy ever again. I was doing new stuff at an open mic in a public park. People were walking their dogs, stopping to listen, not laughing at all while their dogs took a dump. They'd pick the stuff up in a plastic bag and just walk away. And if the universe has ever tried to tell me, scream at me, get your shit together, that was that night. I did not, in fact, get it together. I'm still doing stand-up comedy, but not in open public parks anymore. Thank God.
All right, blind man.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was weird, but I'll say this: it was a bookstore / dance hall / restaurant / African art store / community center. But no, it was fun there. 90s Knowledge Cafe. That's in Highland Park too. It's black-owned establishment, and it's just be rocking like tonight. I don't know if we might go there after leave the workshop.
All right.
Yeah, just check out some comedy or something tonight. Not do nothing.
All right, Linda.
Okay, well, besides with Miss Arkansas in a bank drive-through, the weirdest thing, I did comedy at Harvey's Comedy Club, which is now no longer. And they had a goldfish bowl kind of thing where it was just a row of windows. And it's in the area of town where there's a lot of homeless. And so we had a guy who was hosting the open mic who was on the spectrum. And so he focused on the guys outside who were homeless heckling us through the window. So the host starts banging on the window, aggravating the homeless people, and they come charging in to beat us up.
Wow.
That was last night he hosted.
I think the worst place I ever did comedy, and it was the most I ever got paid doing comedy. And I did comedy at Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, that sounds
But
terrible.
it's the most I ever got paid doing comedy, but nobody paid attention. So I just sat up there and I really just talked to myself, and I got paid.
How do
Worst
kids
feeling.
like masturbation jokes?
I couldn't say none of them jokes. All right.
Worried about you.
What? Okay, I can't read this. What joke? All right, we're going to keep this short because I know we got some long jokes. But what joke did you tell that received the most laughs? The blind man.
Oof.
Oh, you want me to tell the joke now? Okay, well, I'm from, like I said, I'm from Highland Park, and I started the BLM movement in Highland Park. Blind Lives Matter. Yeah, well, one thing that comes up at these meetings all the time, it's hard for a blind man to get some pussy. So one of the guys, another blind guy, not me, he got hooked up with this chick, and all she wanted to do was just kiss, kiss, kiss. He said she had some big ass lips, no teeth, and some badass breath. He was eating, didn't know it. So that's why I started this movement. I want the booty eating movement to stop.
Oh.
Now you get that was over y'all head like a frisbee.
No, I got it. I
He
got
was blind.
it.
You didn't know, he was blind.
Ooh.
That's
Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah. I don't do that no more.
yeah, we knew it was you.
Right.
I don't do that joke no more. But that's the one I got.
That's funny.
That's the one I got.
Grocery.
All right, Michael.
One of my favorites is I don't really tell jokes, man. I just tell stories out of my life. I'm in my 40s now. I'm 49, in fact. And the weirdest thing about hitting in my 40s was I used to know when I was done peeing. I knew for sure I was done. Shake it, zip it, go on about my day. Great confidence. It was all good. Now, after my 40s, I think I'm done. And then anywhere from about 2 to 30 minutes later, oh, man, now I'm done peeing, So my mom, she's at a show before COVID, and I do that joke. And after the show, she said, Michael, what did that mean when you said, well, see, I kind of screwed my own joke up. After shows, people will say to me, isn't that embarrassing if you're out in public and people see that you peed yourself a little bit, right? Well, I am immune to embarrassment. I am a stand-up comedian. I never get embarrassed. I'll look that person right in the eye and say, I'm a squirter. Now, my mom after a show, she said, what did that mean when you said you're a squirter? And then I just realized that we do not watch the same kind of porn. And then like 10 minutes later, she's begging me, please stop explaining to me what's a squirter. See, I owed her for an awkward sex talk we had 30 years ago.
Right.
Revenge is best served cold. It took me 30 years, but I got her.
All right. Don't worry about it. When you get to my age, you don't even have to worry about that peeing thing. I just put on your Depends and go on about your business.
I'm never going to be a Depends man. I can't do it.
Hey, I always tell like alcoholics, they be in the bar drinking, and I keep going to the bathroom. Just put on Depends. You can sit there all day and drink. You ain't got to go nowhere. You ain't got to go to the bathroom, nothing. They be like, man, he been here drinking all day. He ain't go to the bathroom not once. Yeah, he went like 40 times. That wasn't one of my jokes. I just thought of that. Kara.
Okay, so this is like a old one that I've kind of carried through, but it's always been a favorite. But I say so. I had a bikini wax this week, and I don't know who's had those, but they're very uncomfortable, and you're very vulnerable, and it's just a painful kind of thing. And what made my situation a little worse was as soon as the esthetician started the bikini wax, she felt like a good pick of music would be Sade. And I just feel like nothing says find somebody new to rub hot wax next to your vagina like Sade's Smooth Operator. It's inappropriate. It's a faulty choice of song. It's like playing Marvin Gaye at the gynecologist. Not okay.
All right, Key.
Okay, so I do a series of jokes called I Remember When, because I've come to the age of, I'm 54 years old. I'm starting to say things I never thought in my life. So this one particular Remember When does very well, especially at rehab shows. I remember when my emotional support animal was the tequila worm. And by the time I got down to the bottom of the tequila, I've gone through every single emotion I ever had.
All right, kid. All right, Miss Arkansas.
Well, my nephew told his daddy, he said, Daddy, the little girl down the street trying to holler at me. He said, what's her name? He said, Becky. He says, her mother name Sally. He said, yes, sir. He said, boy, you can't mess with her. That's your sister. I cheated on you. Another little girl got all excited, ran at the daddy. Daddy claimed that's his sister, too. When his mama got home, he was looking all sad. She said, boy, what's wrong with you? He said, I met two girls. She said, that should make you happy. That should make you sad. He said, well, Daddy said I can't mess with them my sister. She said, shit, boy, go and get with them girls. That ain't even your damn daddy.
Love it. All right. Buck. Yeah, I'm still in that one. Like, no.
That ain't nothing new. Before we go to the next person, Stefan, listen, I was at a show one time and I had two that night. So this one man stayed for both of them. He gonna tell me after the show, I heard one joke I told. He said, I'd have heard that before. I've been doing comedy a little over 30 years, believe it or not. I told him, I said, well, next time you heard you tell that fucker, I said, don't tell my joke no more.
Oh, wait. Speaking of that, I was doing a show, and the host invited me to come do the show. Don't you know this motherfucker did one of my jokes before he introduced me? I said, you motherfucker. I laid it to him. The whole show was on his ass. But go ahead, Buck.
Well, it's I think I'm the funniest person in my own sphere. So there's been a couple of jokes. There's been more circumstances that were like probably the funniest situation. So I do tell one joke, and my 91-year-old grandmother's in the room here with me, and this is actually from her life. It's so funny because one day we were just sitting there talking, and I turned this into a joke. And my dad is a twin of 22. And before my grandfather married my grandmother, he had 5 other children with kind of like yourself, with the lady that lived down the street. They was playing with these kids, and come to find out they brothers and sisters. But that's not the joke. I said, well, Grandma, how did you and Granddad have so many kids? And my grandmother, my family's Caribbean, my grandmother would go, Bucky boy, I was light-skinned with big legs. I had good puss. And she kept doing the symbol like this for coochie. And so as I would keep doing, and I'm like, why would you tell that to a 10-year-old that you got good puss? I went to therapy for 30 years unpacking the fact that my grandmother had good coochie. And then you find out my cousins weren't really my cousins, but they was my brothers and sisters. So it just spiraled out of control. And I mean, the biggest thing is my connection with the audience. So one day in between that joke, I saw a really pretty girl in the audience, and I stopped and I was like, oh my God, you are so beautiful. And the lady sitting next to her was like, hey player, chill out. That's my lady. I said, okay, you brought your little stud with you, huh? And she said, wait a minute, I'm not a stud. I'm 100% alpha female. And I was like, oh, okay. You're an alpha female. Well, I just want to know what's up with your girl. I mean, do you walk her? Do you feed her? Like, her hair is so shiny. Like, how do you keep her so wet? And that was just pretty much it. It's just basically me being a clown. I'm lucky to get the laughs when I get them. So when I get them, I do cherish those moments. My name is Buck. I'm finished speaking.
All right. Before we go to Linda, I want to give a shout out to my sister in comedy, Shaquan Williams. That's my sister in comedy right there. I love her to death. She gonna comment it. Any woman that has more than 2 children has good coochie. Okay, Linda.
So I get a lot of weird compliments in Portland, Oregon. I went to the Starbucks. Have you ever wanted to fist a barista? It smells like Deckham. I might have used that term wrong. Anyway, I'm in there minding my own business, and the barista says to me, "You look like Marilyn." I'm like, "Oh my God, she's beautiful." And he says, "No, bitch, it's raining and your makeup's melting across your face. You look like Manson, Marilyn Manson."
All right, we running out of time. We got one more question. We're gonna get through that question real quick. But one of my favorite jokes is I always tell people, I always end my show on a public service announcement. And for those who have kids, always be mindful of what you say around your kids, because you might not think they listening, but they listen to every word you say. And my example of that is the school called me and they said, "Mr. Braxton, your daughter brought her cat to school." And I said, "Did you ask her why?" And they said, "Yeah, we did." And she said this, crying. She said, "When I was leaving for school, I heard my daddy tell my mommy, as soon as I leave, he gonna eat the pussy." All right, last question. Here, we're going to do this real quick, so keep this quick because we got less than 10 minutes left. What's the funniest thing your child has ever said or done? And it's a two-part question. Is he or she the next comedian in the family?
Ooh.
Buck.
Okay, so the funniest thing that my nephew has actually said was one time my nephew got in trouble for watching TV, and my mom was like, "You can't watch TV and you're grounded." Fair enough. So the next time my mom found my nephew in the den, and he had his back turned to the TV and he was looking away. So my mom said, "Boy, what are you doing?" He said, "You said I couldn't watch TV. You never said I couldn't listen to the TV." That boy is That's my nephew.
All right. Miss Arkansas.
Well, my son, he had failed the 9th grade, and when school got ready to start back, he said, "Mama, you gonna buy me some new school clothes?" I looked at him, I said, "Bastard, you got to repeat the 9th grade, repeat them damn school clothes." So I think he gonna be the next comedian thinking I'm gonna buy him some school clothes and he ain't do good in school.
Hey, boy, that sounds like my mom. That's like my mom. You ain't getting nothing. Key.
Okay, my daughter, my wife, my current wife at the time, my daughter's mother, we just broke up. So I was at her house watching my daughter. She was maybe 6 years old. She came running out of her mother's bedroom holding a light up dildo saying, "Look, Daddy, a lightsaber." It shook like grandma's.
Who eating chips? It has to be the blind man. Blind man.
I don't know. I can't see it.
The blind man. Mute yourself. Let me mute him, bro. Yeah, he went out. Yeah, it was him. All right, Kara.
Oh man. I mean, funniest thing they say, I think it's kind of one ripping on the other a little bit. Of my kid, on my kids, they do funny things, but the funniest like actual joke that kind of was well written for a 4-year-old, my girl was talking to her older sister who would always just pummel her, and just beat her up all the time. And my oldest daughter was like, where's my bunny book? Where's my bunny book? And my 4-year-old, my middle kid, looks at her and says, "I don't know, maybe it hopped away." Pissed her off. But I thought, damn, that's a good joke. Good for you. But I don't think any of them want to be comedians. But I thought that was good writing for a kid.
All right, Michael.
Oh boy, I've got two answers. I'll give you the safer of the two answers. I've got two children, a son and a daughter. They are adults now. It's way better than when they were kids. We were driving by a handyman type store, and my son goes, "Sierra, look, that store is called Mentards." And my daughter looked at the store and said, "No, it's called Menards. You mentard." And I personally thought that was hilarious. In the green
Yeah.
room, I'll tell you the other one. I don't think that's for public consumption.
That's a comedian in the making right there. She came up with that quick.
Oh, she's sharp as a crack. Both of my kids are really sharp, but I don't think either one of them wants to be a comedian. However, they have both done stage work with comedy.
All right, we're gonna go to Linda, but before we go to Linda, I want to give a shout out to my well, might be my next wife, and she's watching right now. So
Next wife.
she said, no, I ain't having no more ex-wives.
Right.
She said, hello, everyone.
Oh,
Thank you for watching, baby. All right, Linda.
So after my divorce, I was a single mother living in an apartment, and I had to walk around the building past this really good looking guy's apartment to get to my car. And my daughter and I are in a hurry. We grab a tomato. We start eating it while we're running. I start choking on my tomato right in front of this hot guy's apartment. And my daughter's like 6 years old trying to give me the Heimlich. And she's giving me the Heimlich as best she can. And I'm making all kinds of grunting noises while my daughter is behind me. And this guy's watching. And she just looked at him and says, "Is there anything I can do to help you?" And she couldn't help me. I don't know how she got. Anyway, no, she's not going to be a comedian.
All right. I want to thank y'all all for being a guest on my show. Buck, Miss Arkansas, Key,
Yes.
Miss Kara, Michael Copenhagen. Did I say it right? I'm
Not
gonna say
even
Mike.
close.
Michael.
Copenhagen
Linda
with a V.
All right. Linda Marcus Smith. And I guess the blind man, he left. So Shaquan said he was farting. So that's probably wow. He should have wear the Depends. Just let it out. Anyway, thank y'all so much for being a guest on my show. I think I got Miss Arkansas booked for the night show in March 9th. So I will be seeing you soon. Thank y'all so much. And
Thank you.
I thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
So we are
Rock on.
out.
Rock on.